Okay.
Give me a crazy person. I'll reject him.
Donald Trump.
See, that's your problem. He's not crazy. That's your problem.
What happens when Greg Gutfeld confronts Jessica Tarlov on live TV? Chaos, comedy, and one unforgettable debate. This fiery clash dives deep into one of the most controversial topics today, and Gutfeld doesn't hold back. Meanwhile, Jessica defends her stance with passion. But are her arguments holding up? Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more explosive debates and jaw-dropping moments like this. Did you just subscribe? Awesome. Let's dive into the drama.
Tampon Tim. Yes, I would like to talk about it.
Good.
You know what? If you knew anything about the pink tax or how difficult it is for women when they have their period and they don't have access to tampons.
It's not about women. They can get as
it.
many tampons as they want.
That's not
Give them
true.
free tampons. It's the
I
boys.
want to hear this.
The point of having menstrual products available in a boy's bathroom is for 4th to 12th graders, I think, that if there is someone who identifies, if there is a biological female who identifies as a male and uses that, your laughing will be the undoing of your side.
You're encouraging empathy, which we all admire, go into an irrational world.
You don't admire it. I need to say something
no
about
one
the National
is
Guard.
using the boys' bathroom that's menstruating, Jessica.
I would like to pull back and talk about something that would help the Democrat Party if they only listened. I'm going to pretend that I'm not talking to Jessica, but I'm talking to the whole Democratic Party. So liberals, in their very best sense, are the party of empathy and compassion. Their problem is they extend that benefit to people who prey upon innocent citizens. That is their problem. They don't know the boundaries to their compassion or their empathy, and that's why they need conservatives to say, hey, knock it off, pull back. But why do liberals have to accept certain positions that are that bad? Like, why do they have to make excuses for rioters and looters? That is not necessarily a liberal position. They don't have to do it. So if you think of other liberal positions, arguing for surgical transitions for children, banning school choice, funding foreign wars, bailing out felons. What if these aren't liberal positions? They're just awful ones. Then you could reject them. You don't have to sit here and defend tampons for boys. You could just say, you know what, there's nothing liberal about that, right?
Jessica Tarlov found herself defending a controversial position, putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. For her, this was about inclusivity and empathy for biological females identifying as males. But Gutfeld wasn't buying it. His biting humor exposed what he called the irrationality of such policies. It's not about tampons, Gutfeld quipped. It's about how far we're willing to go to cater to absurdities. This clash wasn't just a debate. It was a reality check about where empathy crosses into an irrational world.
You could reject them. You don't have to sit here and defend tampons for boys. You could just say, you know what, there's nothing liberal about that, right? Only nut jobs want kids to have nut jobs. It's not about being liberal or conservative. But the problem is the Democrats have allowed radicals to define what is liberal. So tampons for boys, suddenly, Jessica, you have to defend it. You shouldn't have to. You know, liberals were always against conversion therapy. That was a psychological attempt at curing homosexuality. Now they're defending invasive surgical solutions to do the same thing. How did that become liberal and the other one not? So it's a plea that, like, you don't have to defend this crap. You don't have to defend tampons for boys. You should laugh at it and go, this is bullshit. I don't believe any of it. And then all of a sudden you find that the Democrats and the Republicans are in the same room again. We reject our crazies. It's time for you guys to reject them.
Okay.
Give me a crazy person. I'll reject him.
Donald Trump.
See, that's your problem. He's not crazy. That's your problem.
That is exactly the problem.
There's nothing that he believes in that comes close to tampons for boys or for pushing trans surgeries on children because they're suffering from a psychological delusion. There's nothing like that in the conservative movement. But you Democrats have embraced these things because they're so scared of being called lack of compassion.
Gutfeld didn't stop at tampons. He broadened the discussion, taking aim at what he described as the Democrat Party's inability to draw the line on irrationality. Liberals are the party of empathy, Gutfeld acknowledged. But their problem is extending that empathy to people preying on innocent citizens. He laid out examples. defending rioters, supporting surgical transitions for minors, and pushing tampons for boys. Jessica pushed back, arguing that these positions aren't inherently liberal. But Gutfeld called out the radicals defining today's democratic agenda. Jessica's defense of controversial policies only added fuel to the fire. Gutfeld pointed out the absurdity of defending tampons in boys' bathrooms, while rejecting basic common-sense solutions like school choice. He drew a stark comparison. Liberals once stood against conversion therapy, but now defend invasive surgeries for children suffering from psychological delusions. How did one become liberal and the other not? Jessica, visibly frustrated, struggled to refute Gutfeld's sharp critiques, leading to one of the most revealing moments of the segment.
Okay.
Give me a crazy person. I'll reject him.
Donald Trump.
See, that's your problem. He's not crazy. That's your problem.
The debate hit its peak when Gutfeld challenged Democrats to reject their crazies, the same way Republicans have. Jessica's response: she immediately labeled Donald Trump as the Republican crazy, but Gutfeld wasn't having it. That's your problem, he fired back. Trump doesn't believe in tampons for boys or pushing surgeries on kids. Your side has embraced these extreme ideas out of fear of being called uncompassionate. The audience couldn't help but take notice of how quickly Jessica's arguments unraveled under Gutfeld's scrutiny. Greg Gutfeld's takedown of Jessica Tarlov wasn't just about tampons in boys' bathrooms or transgender issues. It was a stark commentary on the ideological divide gripping modern politics. Gutfeld highlighted a critical issue plaguing the Democratic Party: the inability to reject fringe ideas and draw a clear line between compassion and irrationality. For viewers, the message was clear. Rationality must guide decision-making, especially in policies affecting children and vulnerable populations. Gutfeld's challenge to the Democrats was as much a warning as it was a solution. If they continue allowing radicals to set the tone, they risk losing the trust of the average American. So, where do we draw the line between empathy and irrationality? And more importantly, how do we find a middle ground in a world increasingly driven by extremes? These are the questions that linger as this heated exchange continues to spark debate online and beyond. Greg Gutfeld's fiery takedown wasn't just entertaining. It was a masterclass in exposing the flaws of extreme policies and irrational defenses. Jessica Tarlov's passionate arguments may have resonated with some, but Gutfeld's points left a lasting impression. What do you think? Was Gutfeld right to call out irrationality, or do you side with Jessica's defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fiery debates, bold commentary, and unforgettable moments.